fragmented pieces of a former self, salvaged from dark nets nobody knows. I traced an old crystal with my thumb and tried to name what felt unclear. The city looks stable, the grid was numb, yet something whispered, be prepared. Shadows not yet there, trying to hack 1,000 problems floating somewhere in the air. I can feel the subnets calling, though I don't know what it means. Maybe there's a deeper source code waiting somewhere I haven't seen. I haven't seen. Day was waiting at our booth, same old diner, same old grin, a street dog who knew the truth, listening while I dug within. My mind keeps writing warning lines about system crashes on the way. He stirred a synthetic coffee and smiled. You're spending all your processing power tomorrow, crashing your attention today. The console thing, red and encrypted, pink cut the night. The architect's signature blazing bright. The main city core is going down. Shadows not yet there, trying to hack 1,000 problems floating somewhere in the air. I can feel the subnets calling, though I don't know what it means. Maybe there's a deeper source code waiting somewhere I haven't seen. I haven't seen. I checked into the terminal bay. The architect running out of time. I loaded my deck, cleared my eyes, and took the deep dive. Physical city dissolved into dark. Only neon streams and fiber optic sparks. The black wall loomed fast and wide, a corporate fortress with nowhere to hide. Drop beneath the sensory zone, slipping past the perimeter nodes, tracing data packets, counting patrols, learning the rhythm between the controls. Then the encryption changed on the fly, a trap hidden deep in the code, a Trojan horse sequence executed fast, and my neural link began to overload. A lethal grid race, glowing blinding eyes, black wall servers, digital skies, a logic bomb running a corporate show. This is deeper than I wanted to go. Took hold, mistakes, humiliations, fragments of loss, a rushing flood of psychological strain. The system was trying to overwrite my ghost with an overwhelming torrent of systemic pain. system went pitch. Stretched beyond the grid, a virtual construct of things I hid. Classrooms of shame from a childhood year, every awkward scar made brutally clear. The scenes arrived like storms of dust, one after another without end. Every failure I'd ever buried marched before me once again. Every warning, every bruise, every moment I could lose. But I looked at the code, architecture, and noticed the seams. I won't run from every shadow, I won't bow before every fear. What was buried rises now, and I can finally see it clear. I can stand inside the storm, I can face what once controlled me. Whatever waits beyond this night will no longer own me. The system generated a monster to crush my code, a towering construct wearing my name. It spoke with 1,000 critical voices, predicting catastrophe, ruin, and shame. But I looked past the graphics, I read the telemetry, and I realized not one bite of it was real. Path is clear, the chains are broken, the network is open, the darkness finally set me free. The simulation dissolved, I stood in the real core server room, completely unmapped. The battle was won, I felt lighter than I had in years. I reached out to grab the stolen hardware key. Then, a massive system, white protocol roared to life. Security roar rolled out through the space, leaving a dead zone holding its breath. The mainframe defenses were hunting my trace, and every system lesson was put to the test. I can meet what stands before me, one step and one breath at a time. I don't need to solve tomorrow, I only need to read the signs. I can stay awake and steady, behind a proxy firewall ridge, careful where I rooted my line. A massive hunter drone swept the bridge, searching the sector for my design. My pulse surged hard against my neural net, but instead of spinning into endless theories, I started reading real-time diagnostics, bandwidth, vector, defensive trajectories. I move through a narrow data wash, keeping my signature completely flat. Then I noticed a flash of white light and an index quartz data shard sitting on a legacy rack. My original source code locked away by the Corp years ago. I downloaded it automatically. Second security sweep exploded nearby. The hunter drone had corrected its course. The sector was locking down, but I looked at the grid layout, and I had a plan. I can meet what stands before me, one step and one breath at a time. The future isn't where I live. This moment is the only guide. I can stay awake and steady. I can trust what I observe. There's strength inside attention, and I can use what I have learned. Fragmented data ravine was ahead, where the corrupted badlands of the architecture split. A massive deletion chasm in the drive, easy enough to manipulate it. Push my deck to its maximum heat, the hunter drone screaming close behind. Across the edge of the deletion zone and baited its tracking system blind. It wasn't hunting with precision thought, it was an automated asset throwing its weight. An entity unsettled by a rogue variable, rushing headfirst toward its fate. I can work with what is present, I can trust what I understand. One decision leads to another, one step becomes a plan. I can meet the moment clearly without needing guarantees. There is strength inside adaptation. There is power in what I see. Edge arrived. The drone lunged with all its crushing processing power. I executed a quick submodality shift and stepped aside. The drone couldn't compensate for its own massive momentum. The data floor collapsed underneath its weight. A digital roar echoed through the architecture. Then total system silence. Private workshop. The neon city skyline was running smooth below. The security key was restored to the architect, but on my local terminal, a secondary program finished running. The court shard had executed. The corporate backdoors were purged. My real memories were back. The phantom fear was gone, not conquered. Just gone, gone. I reached into my pocket, feeling the cold edge of the hardware shard. Still there. Still mine. And for the first time in my life, I was completely home.